The spaceship Aurora drifted silently above the distant planet of Valon 3. Its silver hull reflected the faint glow of the binary stars hanging in the sky. Captain Rylan Hart stood at the observation deck, staring down at the strange landscape below. Jagged purple mountains jutted from the ground, and rivers of shimmering liquid snaked through vast plains. It was unlike anything humans had ever seen. "Scans are complete, Captain," said Lieutenant Mara Finn, stepping up beside him. "No signs of intelligent life, but the planet's surface has unusual energy readings. Something unusual is happening down there." Rylan turned from the view, his eyes sharp and focused. "Unusual? How unusual?" Mara tapped a few buttons on the console. "These readings are unlike anything in our database. It seems like the planet itself reacts to touch or interaction, almost like it has a nervous system." Rylan's brow furrowed. "A living planet?" he whispered. Mara shrugged. "Possibly, or something inside it is alive. We won't know until we go. Down there." The captain nodded. "Prepare the shuttle. We'll investigate firsthand." The landing was tricky. The purple soil of Valon 3 was soft in some places and hard as stone in others. The shuttle's sensors beeped constantly, warning them of hidden crevices and unstable terrain. Once on the ground, Rylan and Mara stepped out, their boots sinking slightly into the soft soil. The air was breathable but heavy, with a metallic tang that made their throats dry. They activated their scanning devices. The readings were stronger here, directly beneath a massive crystalline structure that looked almost like a natural building. Its surface shimmered like a giant opal. "This structure, it's organic," Mara said, her voice a mix of awe and caution. "It's not made of rock or metal. It's alive." Rylan crouched beside the base, brushing his gloved hand along the smooth surface. It pulsed faintly under his touch. Alive. But in what way? Is it intelligent? Can it communicate? Before Mara could answer, the ground trembled. A soft hum filled the air, like the whisper of thousands of tiny voices. The crystalline structure began to glow from within. Lines of light traced across, its surface forming patterns that seemed almost like writing. Rylan stepped back, raising a hand to signal caution. "Mara, do you see that?" "Yes," she said, her voice tight with excitement. "It's trying to communicate, but I can't understand it. It's not language, not anything I've ever seen." The captain thought quickly. "Humans have a way of solving problems others can't. Let's try interacting differently. Touching, observing reactions. Maybe it's responding to intention." Rylan reached out again, but this time he focused not just on touch, he focused on understanding. He pressed his palm gently to the pulsing surface, imagining a peaceful greeting. The glow responded, brightening, then forming a shape like an opening, a small circular indentation in the crystalline wall. Mara gasped. "It's opening. It wants you to do something." Rylan studied it carefully. "Not just me, it's responding to human touch, human reasoning. That's incredible." He gently pressed the indentation with his hand. A soft hum filled the air again, stronger this time, and the circular opening widened slightly. Inside, the glow revealed a hollow chamber. Strange lights floated, and shapes moved in a fluid, graceful pattern. It was unlike anything they had ever seen, alive, but in a way that was almost magical. This is an alien interface," Mara said softly. "It's like a puzzle. Only someone who understands human intuition can solve it. Maybe it needs us to guide it, not force it." Rylan nodded. "Then we proceed carefully. Step inside, observe and interact gently. We are guests here." The chamber smelled faintly sweet, like flowers mixed with metal. The walls shimmered with a liquid-like surface that shifted colors as they walked. The floor was soft, yet firm, giving slightly under their weight. As they moved deeper, the lights formed patterns in the air, lines, spirals, and geometric shapes floating freely. Suddenly, One pattern paused. It hovered in front of Ryland's eyes. The glow formed what looked like a lock, a barrier that prevented them from going further. He touched it gently. The glow pulsed. Then, almost instinctively, Ryland applied his understanding of symmetry and balance. He pressed points in a certain sequence, left, right, center, guided by intuition rather than any technical knowledge. The lock shimmered and faded. The pathway ahead opened. Mara stared at him in awe. You did it. No machine, no AI could have solved that. Only a human could. Your intuition, it matched whatever this alien intelligence is trying to do. Ryland smiled faintly, but he remained cautious. We're not here to claim victory. We're here to understand. That's what humans do best. Learn, adapt, solve. They continued through the chamber, deeper into the structure. Lights formed patterns that seemed to react to every thought, every motion. The alien intelligence inside was clearly testing them, guiding them, challenging them. At the center, they found a pool of glowing liquid, calm and reflective. Floating above it was a sphere of pure light. The sphere pulsed gently, and Ryland felt a connection, an unspoken understanding. It wasn't dangerous. It wasn't hostile. It simply was. This is incredible, Mara whispered. We are touching a mind, a consciousness, not a body. This planet, it is alive and it communicates through its structures. Through us. Ryland stepped closer, feeling the connection strengthen. And it chose humans, not because we are stronger or faster, but because we can think, adapt, understand in ways other species cannot. That is what makes us remarkable. The sphere pulsed brighter. Then slowly, it began to split into smaller spheres, each one moving toward them, merging with their scanning devices and suits. They could feel new information, patterns, knowledge, and the history of the planet. It was overwhelming yet exhilarating. Mara looked at Ryland, her eyes wide. It's sharing everything, its history, its technology. We can take this back to the Council. Humanity. This is proof of what we can do. Our curiosity, our problem-solving. It's unmatched. Ryland nodded, feeling a deep sense of pride, but he remained careful. We have to be responsible. Knowledge is power, yes, but understanding is more important. We are not conquerors. We are explorers. The chamber hummed with approval, as if the planet itself understood his words. The pulse of light became a rhythm they could feel, syncing with their own heartbeats. It was a connection, a bridge between human intuition and alien consciousness. Hours passed, though it felt like minutes. The alien interface had tested them, allowed them to prove themselves, and now it shared its knowledge freely. Ryland knew that this was only the beginning. Valon 3 held secrets that humans had never dreamed of, and it had chosen them to unlock them. As they finally stepped back toward the shuttle, the crystalline structure pulsed one last time. A message of gratitude, or perhaps recognition, shimmered in the air. Ryland smiled faintly. Humans, he said, we are capable of great things, and this is only the start. The shuttle lifted off, leaving Valon 3 behind. Below them, the planet glowed softly, alive and aware, as if it had accepted humanity as a friend, a partner in discovery. And somewhere deep inside, Ryland knew that the challenges ahead would be even greater, but humans were ready. For the first time in human history, a planet had chosen them, not by force, not by threat, but by understanding. And in that understanding, humanity had truly shown its strength. The shuttle rose steadily above Valon 3, carrying Captain Ryland Hart and Lieutenant Mara Finn back to the orbiting Aurora. Both were still processing the astonishing experience inside the crystalline structure. It had been more than just a discovery. It was a lesson, a challenge, and an acknowledgement of human capability all at once. Ryland, Mara said after a long silence, I can't stop thinking about what we just experienced. That planet, or whatever intelligence is inside it, It trusts humans, not machines, not algorithms. Us. Rylan nodded. Yes. And that is what makes us remarkable. Our intuition, our ability to adapt. Other species might rely only on strength or technology. Humans, we find solutions where others fail. Mara tapped the console. I'm uploading the data from the chamber. The sphere, its energy readings are off the charts. And the way it interacted with our mind, it's not just science, it's something more. Rylan leaned back, staring out at the planet below. We need to return. There's more to explore, more to learn. The structure was only the surface. That pool, the spheres, they hinted at something deeper. The shuttle descended again a few hours later. This time they chose a different landing spot, closer to the crystalline forest that stretched for miles beyond the first structure. The ground was firm here, but faint tremors hinted at underground activity. Be careful, Rylan said. We don't know what's below. That first chamber was welcoming. That doesn't mean everything here will be. Mara scanned the area with her portable device. The readings are strong. The energy is concentrated under that formation ahead. It's pulsing rhythmically, almost like a heartbeat. Rylan's eyes widened. A living structure underground? Let's move slowly. They approached the crystalline forest. The light reflected off the surfaces in a dazzling display, casting hundreds of colors on the ground. The forest itself seemed to shift, subtly, as though it was observing them. Tiny crystalline leaves trembled at their footsteps. This is incredible, Mara whispered. It's like a forest, but alive in a way we've never known, and it reacts to us. Rylan bent to touch a small branch-like crystal. It pulsed under his fingers, brighter than the rest. It's aware. It's guiding us, perhaps testing us again. Suddenly, a pattern appeared on the largest crystalline trunk ahead. Lines of light formed an arrow, pointing toward a faint crack at the base. Do you see that? Mara asked. It's directing us. Rylan stepped forward, carefully examining the crack. It was narrow, but it widened slightly when he touched it. The crystal wall shimmered, almost as if breathing. Another entrance, he said. Let's proceed. Inside, the tunnel was dark but not threatening. Tiny orbs of light floated in the air, illuminating patterns along the walls. These patterns shifted and flowed, guiding their steps. The air was cooler here, and it hummed softly, vibrating through their suits. Mara looked around in awe. The patterns, they're like a map, or a story. It's telling us something about this place. Rylan nodded. Humans are good at reading subtle signals. Let's pay attention. They followed the light patterns until they reached a large chamber. The walls were lined with crystalline columns, each glowing softly. At the center of the chamber floated another sphere of light, larger and brighter than the one before. Rylan approached it cautiously. The sphere pulsed in response, forming shapes in the air, complex geometric patterns that shifted and changed. It was a puzzle, much like the first, but far more intricate. This one is different, Mara said. It's testing our understanding, not just our intuition. The patterns are alive, responding to thought, not touch. Rylan closed his eyes for a moment, letting his mind focus. He imagined the sequence of patterns forming a harmonious shape, one that made sense logically and visually. Slowly, he moved his hands in the air, as if drawing the shapes. The sphere responded, pulsing brighter, then splitting into smaller orbs that floated toward him. You did it again, Mara whispered. The sphere, it recognizes human reasoning, not instinct alone, but the combination of observation and deduction. Rylan nodded. That's our strength. Humans don't just react, we think, we adapt, and that combination is powerful. As the orbs merged with their devices, a flood of information entered their minds. Knowledge of the planet, its history, its energy systems, and its ecosystem. They saw how the crystalline forest had grown over millennia, adapting to the underground energy flows. They understood that the planet was not only alive but intelligent, capable of observing and interacting with sentient beings. This is astonishing, Mara said, her voice trembling. It's not just a planet, it's a living archive, a library, and a guide all in one, and it trusts us to explore it. Rylan felt a mix of pride and responsibility. We must be careful. Knowledge is a gift, but with it comes duty. We can't take advantage, we must learn, understand, and share wisely. The sphere pulsed once more, then moved to the side, revealing a narrow passage leading deeper underground. The patterns on the walls became more complex, almost like a language, but one they could feel intuitively rather than read. Do you think we should go further? Mara asked. Rylan paused. Yes, but with caution. This intelligence has already tested us twice. It is giving us a chance to understand, to prove ourselves again. They moved deeper into the passage. The light patterns responded to their presence, forming shapes that hinted at challenges ahead. The chamber opened into a vast underground canyon. Crystalline formations rose like towers some hundreds of feet tall. Energy flowed along the surfaces, connecting the towers like veins in a living body. It's like a city, Mara said, amazed. A living city. Rylan studied it. Yes, and it's designed to interact with minds capable of understanding it. We are the first humans to see this, to truly comprehend it. As they explored, they encountered obstacles designed to test reasoning. A bridge of glowing crystal had gaps that required precise steps to cross. Patterns on the walls shifted to guide them, but only if they observed carefully. Mara noticed subtle cues in the pulse of the light, predicting safe paths. Rylan smiled. This is incredible. Humans are explorers by nature. We notice patterns others might miss, we take calculated risks, and we adapt to challenges. That is why this intelligence, this planet, has chosen to reveal itself to us. Hours passed. As they navigated the underground canyon, the orbs of light from the sphere accompanied them, glowing brighter with every correct decision. At the far end, they reached another chamber, larger than any before. At its center was a massive crystalline formation, shaped like a tree with branches reaching in all directions. Energy flowed through it, connecting the entire underground network. Rylan approached it. The formation pulsed in response, opening a cavity at its base. Inside was a glowing cube, floating and rotating slowly. This is the core, Mara whispered. The heart of the planet's intelligence, and it's welcoming us. Rylan reached out cautiously. The cube pulsed under his touch, and he felt a connection unlike anything before. Knowledge, history, and understanding flowed into him. He saw the evolution of the planet, the development of its intelligence, and the way it had adapted to protect itself while inviting worthy explorers. It trusts us, Rylan said softly, and it recognizes our humanity, our curiosity, our reasoning, our willingness to learn. That is what sets us apart. Mara smiled. We are making history, Rylan. No one else has ever connected like this. We are showing humanity's true potential. Rylan nodded. Yes, and we must use this opportunity wisely. The planet has given us knowledge and insight. It is up to us to honor that trust. The pulse of the core slowed, as if acknowledging their words. They stepped back, realizing that this was only the beginning. The underground canyon and the crystalline forest were vast, filled with mysteries that would take months, perhaps years, to fully explore. As they returned to the shuttle, the planet's surface above glowed softly, alive and aware. Rylan looked at Mara. Humans are capable of great things. Curiosity, reasoning, understanding, that is our strength. And this planet has shown us why we matter. Mara nodded. And it will continue to challenge us. But we are ready. The shuttle lifted off once more, carrying them above the glowing forests and crystalline towers. Veilon 3 pulsed beneath them, alive, intelligent, and aware of the humans who had dared to explore it. And somewhere deep inside, Rylan knew the adventure was far from over. For the first time, humanity was not just observing an alien world. They were connecting with it. And in that connection, they were proving what humans had always been capable of: insight, courage, and understanding where others might fail. The shuttle hovered above Velon 3, the twin suns casting long shadows over the crystalline forest below. Captain Rylan Hart and Lieutenant Mara Finn were preparing for their third expedition into the planet's mysterious underground network. Each journey revealed more of the planet's intelligence, but the deeper they went, the more they realized they had only scratched the surface. "Rylan," Mara said, scanning the holographic map of the underground canyon. "The last chambers. Core connected us to a network. Energy flows throughout the planet like a circulatory system. The data suggests there's a central intelligence, something vast and organized." Rylan studied the readings. "And that network is alive, reacting to human thought and reasoning. The planet is testing us, guiding us. Humans have the unique ability to understand patterns, intentions, and reasoning. That is why it allows us deeper access." The shuttle descended again, landing near a crystalline ridge they had not explored before. This area seemed older, untouched, and more complex. Energy pulses from the underground core reached here, visible as faint ripples through the crystals. "Look at this," Mara said, pointing at a formation shaped like a spiral staircase. "It leads downward, deeper than anything we've seen." Rylan nodded. "Careful, step by step. The deeper we go, the more the planet will test us." They climbed the spiral staircase of crystal. Each step vibrated lightly underfoot, resonating with their thoughts. The deeper they descended, the stronger the pulses of energy became. The walls were alive with moving patterns of light, forming sequences that changed depending on the direction of their movement. "This is incredible," Mara whispered. "It's like the planet is reading us, anticipating our actions. Only humans could respond with both reasoning and intuition." Rylan touched one of the glowing walls. The light shimmered and shifted, forming a pattern that resembled a puzzle. He studied it carefully, noticing how the pulses varied. "We need to follow the rhythm, not just the shape. This intelligence responds to timing as much as to pattern," he signaled Mara, and together they began to step and move in synchronization with the pulses. Each successful move caused the walls to glow brighter, guiding them further down. After several minutes, they reached a vast underground chamber, unlike anything they had encountered before. Towering crystalline pillars surrounded them, each filled with flowing light. The energy here was intense, almost overwhelming. At the center floated a massive crystalline orb, pulsing steadily like a heart. "This must be the central node," Mara said, awe in her voice. "The heart of the planet's intelligence." Rylan approached cautiously. "Yes, and it's aware of us. Watch how it reacts to our movements and thoughts." He held out his hand, imagining a gesture of friendship and understanding. The orb responded, sending waves of light through the pillars. Patterns formed in the air, more complex than before, showing what seemed to be a visual representation of the planet's history. Mara gasped. "It's showing us its evolution, the growth of the crystalline forests, the development of the underground network, even the energy flows that sustain it. This is knowledge we could never have imagined." Rylan studied the light patterns carefully. "And it's giving us more. Look, these sequences are challenges, not just information, tests of reasoning and understanding." The orb sent a stream of floating symbols toward them, forming a three-dimensional puzzle in midair. Each symbol moved and changed in response to their thoughts. It required observation, pattern recognition, and careful timing to solve. "This is amazing," Mara said. "No AI could solve this, only humans, because we combine intuition, reasoning, and creativity." Rylan moved carefully, analyzing the flow. Step by step, he guided the sequence to completion. The orb pulsed brighter, sending out small orbs of light that merged with their suits, expanding their perception of the energy flows. Suddenly, the floor beneath them trembled. A section of the chamber rose, forming a crystalline bridge over a glowing chasm. The energy pulsing from below was stronger than before, almost like a warning. "We need to cross," Rylan said. "But carefully. The planet is testing our judgment, now not just our reasoning." They stepped onto the bridge. Each movement caused the light patterns to shift, indicating safe and unsafe paths. Mara observed carefully, predicting the safest route. "Follow my lead," she said, and together they crossed the chasm, moving in perfect synchronization with the energy pulses. On the other side, they discovered a second chamber, smaller but equally impressive. At its center was a crystalline tree, its branches filled with flowing light. The tree seemed alive, its pulses synchronized with the orb in the central chamber. Rylan reached out. The tree responded, sending streams of energy into his suit. Images formed in his mind, an ecosystem thriving for millennia, adapting to energy flows and creating intelligent responses to visitors. "This planet is a living library," Mara said softly, "and it recognizes humans as capable of understanding. It's giving us a gift." Rylan nodded. "And a responsibility. Knowledge is not just power. It is the duty to learn, to explore, and to protect." The orb in the previous chamber pulsed, as if acknowledging his words. Then, it split into multiple smaller orbs, each moving toward different pillars. They merged with the crystalline tree, lighting it up even brighter. The entire chamber seemed to hum in approval. "Humans are remarkable," Mara said. "Our curiosity, reasoning, and intuition, it sets us apart from any other species. And this planet, it knows that." Rylan smiled. "It's a partnership. We don't dominate. We observe, learn, and contribute. That is our strength." The energy patterns formed a path leading further underground. The signals were faint but consistent, guiding them to a narrow tunnel. They descended, feeling the energy pulses grow stronger, almost like a heartbeat growing louder with each step. "This is deeper than anything we've explored," Mara said. "Do you think the planet will let us reach its core?" Rylan paused. "I think it's testing whether we are worthy. Worthy not by strength, but by understanding, patience, and curiosity. Humans are the only species capable of this." The tunnel opened into a massive cavern. Crystals of every size filled the space, and energy flowed like rivers along the walls. At the center floated a massive transparent sphere. Inside, a glowing pattern shifted constantly, almost like a living map of the planet's mind. Rylan approached. "This must be the mind itself, the intelligence that governs everything, and it wants to interact with us." He reached out, touching the sphere gently. The light expanded, filling their minds with visions of the planet's history, energy flows, and intelligence. Every pulse, every pattern, was a test of reasoning and perception. They felt the planet's awareness, recognizing their presence, their thought processes, and their ability to adapt. Mara stepped closer. "It trusts us. It knows humans can understand. That's why it shares this knowledge. Not everyone could do this. Only humans, because of what we are capable of." Rylan nodded. "And we must honor that trust. Knowledge is a gift, and we must use it wisely, to learn, to protect, and to guide others." The sphere pulsed one final time, sending waves of energy throughout the cavern. The crystalline pillars glowed brighter, the rivers of energy flowed stronger, and the entire space seemed alive in celebration. As they returned to the shuttle, both Rylan and Mara were filled with awe. Valon 3 was no longer just a planet. They had met its mind, its intelligence, and it had recognized humans as capable partners in understanding. "Humans are remarkable," Rylan said quietly. "We think, adapt, solve problems, and understand in ways others cannot. That is why this planet has chosen to share itself with us." Mara nodded, eyes shining. "And we will continue to explore. There is still so much to learn. The planet has more secrets, and we are ready." The shuttle lifted off, leaving the glowing underground network behind. From above, Veilon 3 pulsed with life, aware of the humans who had dared to explore, understand, and connect. For the first time, humanity was not just observers. They were participants in the planet's intelligence, proving their uniqueness, ingenuity, and capacity for understanding. The shuttle glided over the crystalline forests of Veilon 3, its twin suns reflecting off the surface like scattered diamonds. Captain Rylan Hart and Lieutenant Mara Finn prepared for their fourth expedition into the planet's underground network. Each mission had revealed more of the planet's intelligence, but this time, the reading suggested something even deeper, a core chamber that pulsed with immense energy. "This is different from anything we've encountered," Mara said, studying the holographic map. "The energy here is more concentrated, the patterns are more complex. It's almost like the planet is aware we're coming." Rylan nodded. "Yes. The deeper we go, the more it tests us. Humans can reason, adapt, and intuitively solve problems. That's why it allows us to proceed. But this might be its ultimate challenge." They descended carefully to the landing site near a jagged ridge of towering crystals. The ground vibrated faintly with energy pulses. Every step they took seemed to echo in perfect harmony with the rhythm of the planet. "Feel that?" Rylan said. "It's like the planet is alive beneath our feet, aware of us. We are visitors, and it's observing every move." Mara nodded. "We've learned to read patterns. This is no different. Let's proceed slowly and carefully." The spiral staircase of crystal loomed ahead. It led downwards into an underground canyon far larger than the previous ones. The walls were alive with moving patterns of light, shifting in response to their movements. Every pulse seemed a test of perception, timing, and reasoning. "Step carefully," Rylan warned. "We have passed previous tests because we understand patterns and intuition. This might require more creativity and judgment." Mara observed the walls, noticing subtle cues in the glowing patterns. "I think it's trying to test more than our reasoning. It's testing collaboration, how well we work together to interpret signals and solve challenges." Rylan smiled. "Then we proceed as a team. Humans are strongest when we combine our skills: intuition, reasoning, creativity. That's why we are capable of connecting with this intelligence." They descended, slowly, following subtle rhythms in the walls. At one point, a series of floating crystalline platforms appeared, suspended over a glowing chasm. Each platform glowed in a different color, and the colors shifted as they moved. "It's a test of judgment," Mara said. "Step on the wrong platform and it could block our progress. Or worse, it could trigger a reset of the pathway." Rylan studied the colors carefully. "It's not random. The sequence follows a pattern based on energy pulses. Watch the rhythm and follow it. Step on the platform that aligns with the pulse." Together they crossed the chasm, moving in perfect synchronization with the energy flows. The walls pulsed brighter with each correct step, guiding them further into the canyon. After the chasm, the path opened into a vast chamber. Crystalline towers rose hundreds of feet, and energy flowed between them like veins in a living organism. At the center floated a massive crystalline core, glowing with a soft pulsating light. "This must be the planet's central mind," Mara whispered. "Everything we've explored leads to this. It's alive, aware, and it's waiting for us." Rylan approached cautiously. "The core will test us in ways we cannot yet predict. It's not just about reasoning. It's about understanding its intelligence, adapting, and demonstrating humanity's unique abilities." He raised his hand, reaching toward the core. The light pulsed in response, forming complex patterns in the air. Unlike previous challenges, this one was dynamic. It shifted based on thought, movement, and intention simultaneously. Mara stepped closer. "This isn't just observation. It wants us to collaborate, think creatively, and understand deeply. We can do this. Humans are capable of adapting to complexity that no machine could handle." They focused together, reading the pulses and understanding the patterns. Each movement and gesture aligned with the core's shifting patterns. Slowly, Step by step, they decoded the sequences, translating intention into action. The core responded by sending streams of light toward them, merging with their suits and devices. Knowledge flowed into their minds, the structure of the planet, its energy systems, and its consciousness. They could feel the intelligence acknowledging their efforts, testing their patience, creativity, and judgment simultaneously. "This is incredible," Mara said. "It's more than knowledge. It's understanding how the planet functions as a living organism, and it trusts us to interpret and apply this understanding responsibly." Rylan nodded. "Humans are explorers. We don't just solve problems. We adapt, create solutions, and collaborate. That combination is why the planet allows us deeper access." The core pulsed, forming a path of light leading to a crystalline staircase descending even further. The energy flows were stronger here, almost overwhelming. Mara paused. "Rylan, this is intense. Are we ready?" He smiled faintly. "We've come this far because we are human. Curiosity, reasoning, and collaboration brought us here. We are ready." They descended the staircase carefully. Each step resonated with the energy of the planet. The walls shifted constantly, forming puzzles that required observation, timing, and intuition. Some sections required rapid decisions, while others demanded patience and precision. At the bottom, they reached another chamber larger than any before. The walls glowed with energy patterns depicting complex systems, flows of energy, histories of the planet, and interactions between its living components. At the center floated a crystalline sphere larger than any previous one. "This must be the ultimate test," Mara said softly. "The core of the core. Everything leads here." Rylan approached cautiously. The sphere pulsed as he drew near, forming shifting patterns that required reasoning, intuition, and collaboration. Every movement they made altered the patterns, and every correct interpretation strengthened the connection between them and the planet. "We are communicating with the planet itself," Rylan said. "Not through words, not through machines, but through understanding. That is what makes us human." Mara focused on the patterns, noticing subtleties in the pulses. "It responds to our thoughts, but also to our cooperation. Alone, we could not solve this. Together, we can." Step by step, gesture by gesture, they guided the patterns toward completion. The sphere pulsed brighter and brighter, until streams of light merged with them completely. Knowledge, energy, and understanding flowed through their minds. The core responded by illuminating the entire chamber. Crystalline towers glowed with new intensity, and energy flowed freely in harmonious patterns. The planet's intelligence seemed to radiate satisfaction, as if recognizing that humans were worthy partners. Rylan stepped back, feeling a sense of pride and responsibility. "Humans are capable of incredible things. Our reasoning, curiosity, and ability to collaborate allow us to understand what others cannot. That is why this planet has revealed itself to us." Mara smiled. "And there is still more to discover. We are ready for the next challenge. The planet has much to teach, and we are learning every step of the way." The chamber pulsed one last time, sending waves of energy through the crystalline canyon. Rylan and Mara felt the intelligence's acknowledgement, a silent recognition of human capability, creativity, and adaptability. As they returned to the shuttle, both knew that the planet's lessons were far from over. They had passed tests of reasoning, intuition, and collaboration, but there was still a greater purpose waiting deeper inside Veilon 3. Above the glowing crystalline forest, the shuttle lifted off. The planet pulsed beneath them, alive, aware, and satisfied with the humans who had dared to explore, understand, and connect. Humanity had proven its uniqueness, and the challenges ahead promised even greater discovery. Rylan looked at Mara. "This is what it means to be human. To explore, to learn, to adapt. And Veilon 3 has shown us why we matter in the universe." Mara nodded, eyes shining. "And the journey is only beginning. There's more to see, more to understand, and more to prove. Humanity is ready." The shuttle rose above the planet, leaving the glowing forests and crystalline towers behind. Velan 3 remained alive, aware and intelligent, awaiting the humans who had shown courage, wisdom, and curiosity. For the first time, humanity was not only a visitor. They were partners in discovery, proving the strength and ingenuity that defines their species. The shuttle glided above Velan 3, its twin suns reflecting off the crystalline forests like scattered diamonds. Captain Rylan Hart and Lieutenant Mara Finn were preparing for the final descent into the planet's deepest and most mysterious chamber. The readings from their devices were stronger than ever. This was the ultimate core of Velan 3's intelligence. "This is it," Mara said, studying the holographic map. "All the energy flows lead here. The patterns, the challenges, everything points to this chamber. This is where we'll truly understand the planet." Rylan nodded. "Yes. The planet has tested us repeatedly, and now it will reveal its ultimate lesson. We have learned its patterns, its reasoning, its rhythm, and we are ready." The shuttle touched down carefully near a ridge of towering crystals. Energy pulses vibrated through the ground, stronger than anything they had felt before. The crystalline walls shimmered as if acknowledging their arrival. "Feel that?" Rylan said. "It's aware. It knows we're here." Mara nodded. "It's like a heartbeat, strong, steady, aware of us. This is unlike anything we've experienced." They climbed a spiral staircase of crystal, descending into a vast underground canyon. The walls shimmered with light patterns that shifted constantly. The sequences were more intricate than before, responding not just to movement but to thought, intuition, and collaboration. "This is the ultimate test," Rylan said. "Every previous challenge prepared us for this, but this will require everything: reasoning, intuition, teamwork, and patience." Mara observed the patterns carefully. "The energy flows are guiding us, but we must interpret them correctly. One wrong step, one misread pulse, and we could lose progress." Step by step they moved through the canyon, following the subtle rhythms. The crystalline floor beneath them pulsed softly, echoing the energy of the planet. The walls formed challenges that required observation, precise timing, and careful reasoning. At last they reached a massive chamber, larger than anything they had encountered. Crystalline towers soared to the ceiling, and energy flowed between them like rivers of light. At the center floated a gigantic sphere glowing with a steady, pulsating light. This was the ultimate core, the heart of the planet's intelligence. "It's beautiful," Mara whispered. "And alive. It's aware of us, but it doesn't feel threatening. It's welcoming." Rylan approached cautiously. "The core will test our ability to understand. This is not just a puzzle. It's an interaction. It responds to thought, intention, and collaboration." He raised his hand. The sphere pulsed in response, forming complex patterns in the air. Unlike previous challenges, these shapes moved dynamically, reacting to both of their thoughts simultaneously. Mara stepped closer. "It's asking us to work together. Interpret, adapt, and solve in harmony. Humans are uniquely capable of this. We combine intuition and reasoning in ways no other species can." Together they focused on the patterns. Step by step, gesture by gesture, they aligned their movements with the pulses. Each correct action caused the patterns to stabilize and glow brighter, while mistakes made them shift and challenge them again. "It's incredible," Mara said. "It's not just testing intelligence, it's testing collaboration, patience, creativity, everything humans are capable of." Rylan nodded. "That's the point. The planet is aware of our potential. It recognizes that humans can solve complex problems by combining multiple strengths: logic, creativity, observation, and teamwork." The core responded, sending streams of light that merged with their suits. Knowledge, understanding, and energy flowed through their minds. They felt the planet's history, its energy systems, its underground network, and its conscious design. Every pulse and pattern was a lesson in reasoning and insight. "This is more than data," Mara said. "It's understanding. We can feel how the planet thinks, how it adapts, and how it communicates. It trusts us to use this knowledge responsibly. Rylan smiled. And we will. Humans explore, understand, and protect. We do not dominate what we do not understand. That is why the planet has allowed us this connection. The sphere pulsed brighter, then split into smaller orbs that moved throughout the chamber. Each orb merged with a crystalline tower, sending energy flowing through the entire structure. The light illuminated patterns on the walls, forming a story of the planet, its intelligence, and the civilizations it had witnessed over millennia. Mara studied the walls. It's showing us everything, how it evolved, how it maintained balance, how it interacted with energy, and it recognizes us as worthy of understanding these secrets. Rylan stepped forward. Humans are capable of great things. Our curiosity, reasoning, and intuition allow us to explore, solve, and connect. That is why this planet has revealed itself to us. Not because we are strong or fast, but because we think, adapt, and understand. The final test appeared, a set of floating crystalline shapes, forming a puzzle that required coordination, observation, and precise reasoning. The patterns shifted as they moved, demanding continuous adaptation. Mara looked at Rylan. We do this together. One mind alone cannot solve this. Only human collaboration, our ability to combine skills and insight, can succeed. They worked, in perfect synchronization. Rylan observed the energy flows. Mara interpreted the light patterns, and together they solved the sequence. The floating shapes stabilized, forming a bridge of light leading to the heart of the sphere. The core pulsed, one final time, sending waves of energy throughout the chamber. Knowledge, history, and understanding flowed into their minds. They could feel the planet's awareness, its intelligence acknowledging their success. It trusts us, Mara said softly. It recognizes humanity's unique abilities. Curiosity, collaboration, and understanding. That is why it chose us. Rylan nodded. And now we must honor that trust. Knowledge is a gift, and with it comes responsibility. We explore, learn, and share wisely. That is what makes humans remarkable. The chamber glowed brighter, and the energy flowed harmoniously through every tower and crystal. The planet's intelligence radiated approval, acknowledging that humans had passed every test of reasoning, intuition, and collaboration. As they returned to the shuttle, both felt a deep sense of pride and awe. Phalon 3 was not just a planet. They had connected with its intelligence, proven their capability, and been recognized as worthy partners. Humans are remarkable, Rylan said quietly. We are explorers, thinkers, collaborators, and we have shown that to the universe today. Mara smiled. And the adventure doesn't end here. Phalon 3 has more to teach, and we will continue to learn. Humanity is ready for every challenge. The shuttle lifted off, leaving the glowing forests and crystalline towers behind. The planet pulsed beneath them, alive, intelligent, and aware of the humans who had dared to explore, understand, and connect. For the first time, humanity was not just a visitor, it was a partner in discovery. Rylan and Mara had demonstrated the strength of human curiosity, collaboration, and intelligence. They had proven that humans could meet challenges no other species could, adapt to the unknown, and gain understanding where others might fail. Above, the shimmering surface of Phalon 3, Rylan looked at Mara. This is what it means to be human, to explore, to reason, to adapt, and to connect. And in doing so, we have earned our place among the stars. Mara nodded. And the journey is just beginning. There will always be more mysteries, more worlds, and more challenges. But humanity is ready for all of them. The shuttle rose into the sky, leaving Phalon 3 glowing beneath them. The planet remained alive, intelligent, and aware, awaiting the next step in the partnership with humanity. And for the first time, humans knew that their greatest strengths, curiosity, reasoning, and collaboration, could open doors to wonders beyond imagination. Humanity had proven itself, not by force but by understanding, by intellect, and by heart. And in that understanding, the universe had acknowledged its place.